Philadelphia, but right, Philadelphia by way of Atlanta, by way of Chicago, by way of whatever. Who knows where she gonna be? Just somebody said. Absolutely, and there has been a request for a house in Chicago. So guess what? The only problem with Chicago is it's windy and it's cold right now. So I'm definitely going to have Chicago staff because I will not be here in the winter. That ain't happening. So anyway, so many great things is happening. Hold on. There we go. Can you hear me now? 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 So Melissa Boston and her company, they're doing some health challenges. And so they were working on, what that's going to look like. So that's why they invited me to be a part of that process. So far, so good. So many great things between the products, they're choosing to do eat right for your type loosely. Some stuff has changed since that book has been written. So, loosely using that for people as a basis and then adding all, some other great stuff. So I have had grain-free waffles. I've had broccoli coleslaw. I've had monk fruit sweetener, monk fruit syrup. What else did I have? Oh, I had monk fruit sweetened caramel, monk fruit sweetened chocolate, cassava chips, and everything that I've had. I'm absolutely going to add to my diet when I get back. I'm going to do some kind of I don't know, videos or something about it. I've also, she gave me something called miracle noodles. They're noodles, but they're made from a root vegetable. I forget what vegetable it was, but she made it with that portobello mushrooms and onion and the liquid aminos, but it was a coconut based liquid amino. And it tastes like the best Chinese food I ever had, right? And then coconut ice cream with it was vanilla ice cream, but it was coconut milk based Cool Whip. Man, listen, I've been really my eyes open to some different things. So I'm absolutely going to take those lessons home and incorporate it. So it's been really, really good um, being here. And one of the things that somebody asked me when I came was like, how do you just keep going places and doing stuff? Right? Like I'm not doing that. Like, no. And sometimes when people ask you things, you will go into these modes of I'm not doing that. I don't think that's a good idea. When in actuality, it may be a good idea, but you automatically say no. You know how some people like that, not to ask them because they automatically gonna say no, even if it's a good thing. And that's really sabotage. Self-sabotaging behaviors that a lot of people have. And so when you are trying to build the life of your dreams, these self-sabotaging behaviors can stop you from going to the next level. It's like, oh, yeah, I know I probably should go to that event, but nah, I ain't gonna go. That's not for me. But you are automatically start saying these things before you even know. And a lot of times when I feel like I don't want to go somewhere, that's when I really make myself go. And when I do go, it's always something amazing. I always meet somebody amazing. I learn something amazing. Something great happens every single time. So the question becomes, are you guilty of self sabotaging behaviors that really get in the way of you accomplishing your goals and, ones that really reduce your self, confidence? And if that's you, guess what? You ain't even by yourself. You're not by yourself. It's such a common issue. People, so often do that without even noticing that they're doing it. Self-sabotage can be like rooted in feelings of unworthiness or fear or harm of our own progress or relationships or overall health. Sometimes we might say no because our husband don't want us to go, or you don't want to have the conversation that this is someplace I need to go to. I was talking to Melissa last night, and she's married now. When I first met her, she wasn't. She's probably been married a couple years, maybe 4 years, 5 years now. And she said there was a time when she used to just wake up and like, I'm going to Bermuda. I'm jet set. And so now she said, she had to learn to, do it a little bit differently, instead of making all these last minute things, she just, has a conversation a week or two in advance. Like, "Oh, I'm going to be going to Bermuda in 2 weeks." So you kind of change it. So still doing the things that you want to do and not um, stopping yourself because of, what somebody else might think. The first step to really realizing that um, self sabotage is a pattern or a behavior that you do, and sometimes without even realizing it, is you need to really pinpoint the triggers that that cause these, self-destructive behaviors. So what exactly is self-sabotage? What does that mean? It means exactly what it says. Is when you engage in behaviors or thoughts that interfere with your long-standing goals and create problems in your life. These behaviors, whether purposeful or done unconsciously, really prevent you from living the life that you hope for, or lead to feelings of insecurity or resentment or um, self judgment. And so we want to kind of notice if that's something that we do. You really don't want to be the one that they say, every time I call Darlaina, she say no. Every time I call her, she say no. I don't even care if it's just a phone call because she don't even pick up the phone. So every time I call her, she say no. And so what's happening when you saying no? Why do people do it? There's so many reasons people, engage in this self-destructive behavior. It might be a little bit difficult for you to pinpoint why a person exactly struggles with self-sabotaging behaviors, but a good starting point really is to examine um, what behaviors hinder your abilities to reach your life goals, whether they are dietary, fitness, relationships, professional, or personal goals. And one of the first things is fear. Fear is a major factor in self-sabotaging behaviors. You may have fear of falling or fear of being successful, or you know, which may be unusual, but it happens when the path of success is stressful. When you think about, I could just go to work and just do my 8 hours and just come home, or I can start this business, which I got to figure out like uh, what uh, what business things I need. I got to figure out what licenses I need. Can I do this in my state? Can I work from home? When you could just go to somebody else's job and say, forget all that. So sometimes it's the fear of that. Sometimes it's insecurity. Self sabotage may occur when a person doesn't feel confident or worthy enough to find happiness or achieve a goal. Insecurities keep people from, pushing forward and can really reduce motivation. Sometimes there is the need for control. We can't control everything. And so the uncertainty of something new, perhaps positive outcomes, can make people uncomfortable, leading to more self sabotaging behaviors that bring them back to more comfortable situations. In this case, the comfort is simply a place or emotion that they've experienced before, even if it's negative. And that's what they talk about, the comfort zone, right? Everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. When I tell you, when I moved to Atlanta, I so far outside my comfort zone. And my greatest achievements have been stepping outside of my comfort zone. I could continue to stay with family where I don't have to pay no bills. I don't have to worry about the, the electric company, the gas company. I don't gotta worry about the internet bill. I don't gotta worry about nothing. Or I step out into this space where I never been. Now all of a sudden I got $1,700 in rent, electric, gas, all these bills that I have not had in a long, long time. And sometimes it is really nerve wracking because I'm like, okay, how we gonna how we gonna do that? How you gonna do that? And so it is really outside the comfort zone, and there is no control on how that works. There is a perception of control when you work, a regular job or something like that. But when you are building a business, then it really can be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable in a good way. Because when you are outside of your comfort zone, that is all that is doing for you is allowing you to stretch and to grow. And that's where everything is in your growth. We say it all the time. Your business or your life will never grow outside of your personal development. And so we take this personal development that we do and we jump out there with both feet. And regardless of how it may or may turn out, it's okay. It is okay. That is funny. Stop, Brenda Bryant. Oh my goodness. How come? How come? You know what? I can't. I love you though. People sending me text messages telling me to stop calling them out. It's all good though. It's really all good. I'm calling out all of us. And then the next thing is sometimes we place blame. If you're quick to point fingers, every time something goes wrong, then you may be really self-sabotaging by placing blame instead of taking responsibility or realizing that sometimes things just don't go as planned. Laverne side cracked all her toes. That's funny. Y'all funny. You can just blame it on God, and in the universe gives me these ideas of things to come up with. And it's usually because somebody is asking me a question, right? And so this makes me, just go see what the world is saying about it. But we can't place blame. We place blame, we actually give up our power. You give the power of control to whomever it is that you're blaming. And so, but if you say, okay, that didn't go according to plan because maybe I should have done something sooner, or maybe I should have chose a different vendor, or maybe I should have asked a different person, whatever. So by doing that, you keep it with yourself, and that allows you to stay in control. Placing blame on other people too doesn't allow you to learn and grow from challenging situations. It's all about the growth. It's easy to blame other people in the face of adversity, but how is that contributing to your relationship or personal growth? You can't grow by blaming. And so the next thing is really procrastination. It is not uncommon to stall, to hesitate before beginning any important task. This can be a reaction to fear or lack of motivation. And procrastination is really a type of self sabotage. How many times have you really had to do something and you like, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But then it gets closer and closer to the date that something is due. You need it done by the 15th, but you know about it the a month before. And then here and now we down to 15 days left. It's the first. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then it's the fifth, and then it's the 10th, and then it's the 12th. And now you're scrambling to get it done by the 15th. And you knew all the whole time. And that's not uncommon. So do you want to know if you've been practicing self-destructive behaviors in your own life? Well, here are some of the common signs: chronic procrastination, persistent self defeating thoughts, thinking that you're never good enough, putting yourself down, emotional eating, avoiding tasks that need to be completed, blaming others when something goes wrong, looking looking for instant gratification, unable being unable to achieve even short-term goals, never feeling satisfied even after achieving a goal, pushing away or picking fights with people who love you, or dating people who don't treat you well. All self-sabotaging. And so what causes these behaviors? There's several reasons why a person may form these self-sabotaging habits or hinder his or her own ability to find success. First is anxiety and stress. If a situation provokes feelings of stress or anxiety, it's common to say, I'm gonna leave that over there so I don't have to deal with the negative emotions that come with it, and I'm good with it. Especially anxiety around a new job or relationship, or even anxiety about something that's going well in your life. We can absolutely feel that anxiousness or that stress around it and just be deciding that I'd rather not be bothered. The next thing is fear of failure. Like every time I do something, it don't turn out right, so I'm just not gonna do nothing. And that fear of failure really is your subconscious mind protecting you. Your subconscious mind say, "Yup, the last time we did that crap ain't work out. So you might as well just save your money and save your time and don't do it." But this fear really can lead to a negative mindset and behaviors that can push you further away from achieving your goals. It's a keep on knocking, keep on asking, keep on seeking. We got to keep trying. We just never know that one thing that's gonna, just take off. I sit here sometimes and I look at some of the videos and things that I post, and one video, two people watched it. Another video, nobody watched it. And then you turn around and one video, 13,000 people watched it, or another one, 166,000 people watched it. So you just never know. So you just have to be consistent and persistent in whatever it is. Who knows? I never know who's gonna see what, who's gonna hear what. I don't know. I just am obedient to the things that I've been called to do. So we wanna fight through that. Sometimes childhood trauma or some unhealthy patterns could show up. People who were put down as children or experience any kind of childhood trauma may engage in self-sabotaging behaviors. This is a way to repeating the comfortable pattern over, this comfort space. Even over time, these actions feel normal, and anything outside of that triggers them to fear or any discomfort. So then they don't do it. And sometimes parents really just don't know that they're causing this trauma. And sometimes negative relationships, past unhealthy relationships, may cause you to have issues with trust. And hold on, live stream. Okay, you over there doing stuff. All right. Sometimes negative relationships, past unhealthy relationships, can cause you to have issues with trust, and contribute to how you feel as far as your self-worth is concerned. You might just feel like I'm just not good enough to do that. And sometimes even being bored. Sometimes boredom can lead to self-sabotage. As you lose the desire to focus on things, relationships, job, tasks, just like, forget that. Or even addictions to food, alcohol, drugs, gambling, and other temptations can certainly cause dysfunctional behavior as well as beliefs in yourself. So, one of the other things that came up in this article was it was called, what is it called? It's called, Where is it? It is called something monologue. Where is it? I was cracking up when I saw it. I said, "Oh, internal monologue." So the question was, does everybody have an internal monologue? So that came that came up with it. So that internal monologue, I think, has a lot to do with whether we self-sabotage too. So some people, that's considered talking to yourself in your head. And does everybody have that? And the accompanying article says that everybody doesn't have that. Especially kids don't really have it yet, but a lot of adults do, but some adults don't. And I'm thinking, do I talk in my head? Am I talking in my head? I think I am. I'm talking in my head, right? So this, sometimes this inner monologue running through your mind, whether or not it is self-talk that's positive or self-talk that's negative, can have a big impact on your mood and on your health as well. And so, this internal monologue, also called your inner monologue, internal dialogue, is considered that inner voice that narrates your thoughts throughout the day, right? Yes, yes. Oh, serpent conversations. Uh-oh. But it is believed that it occurs in many people because there are connections in our brains between the areas focused on thinking and areas focused on language. So according to the latest research, inner speech is related to the default mode network of the brain. So this is something that you don't even really have control over. The network um, has different areas that, when engaged, they're doing. Even if you're not doing anything, this could pop up in your head, these thoughts, right? So this, what is it called? The default mode network kicks in when you're bored, when you're thinking, when you're daydreaming. Once we're focused on a task, it quiets so we can concentrate. But it is constantly something going on. And again, everybody doesn't have it, but most people do. But the benefit of it is to help us with problem solving, self reflection, and critical thinking. According to what one inner monologue specialist, now that's a job, inner monologue specialist, explained to Well Plus Good. He said the default mode network is what produces that whole running narrative in your head, all the things you think about, connecting you to your past, to your present, and thinking about the future, all of your opinions and self comparisons. It is the seat of creativity and imagination, but it is also the seat of neurosis, depression, and anxiety. So, some of the purposes and benefits of having an inner monologue, especially if it consists of mostly positive self talk, it will help you increase life satisfaction, higher self esteem, confidence, mood, and outlook, lower risk for anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorders, lowers your stress levels, greater resiliency against setbacks. Kim, stop playing with the tape. Okay. And so, how do you know if you have an inner monologue? It says, you might feel like you have a constant narration present in your head. You may notice yourself repeating sentences to yourself, reminding yourself of things, coming up with solutions, rehearsing or rehearing conversations, or giving yourself feedback. Yeah, that's your inner monologue. You likely couldn't stop your thoughts from verbally running through your mind, even if you tried. So that is why it's helpful to focus on replacing negative thoughts with positive, realistic ones, rather than trying to turn off your inner thoughts altogether. Some people with inner monologues also report having strong mental visuals and that accompany their verbal thoughts. And so, how do you have positive inner monologue that's going to help you with this self sabotage? So, first, you want to be mindful, observe your thoughts. Mindfulness is always about noticing your thoughts and feelings without necessarily believing them or trying to change them. So a thought comes up, say, yeah, yeah, thank you for sharing, keep that moving. What was that thing we used to say? Lean back and let it pass. Just lean back and let it pass, especially if it's something negative. You don't have to dwell on it. Just let that thing go on by. The average human has 70,000 thoughts per day. So in 70,000 thoughts, some of them are going to manage to be negative. So you just need to let them, pass. And so when you pay attention to this inner voice, without assuming every thought that you have is a fact, because they're not facts. They're just thoughts. They're only facts if you start to believe them or make them true. And so they're not thought, they're not facts. And when you're able to separate your thoughts from how you're feeling, this can really help prevent that self-attacking thoughts from sabotaging your mood or lowering your self-esteem. Because some thoughts, are so negative that they can change your mood. Sometimes, I have to catch myself. It feels like I've had, between losing my father, losing my brother, losing my mother, sometimes those thoughts all come up at the same time. And so I have to really, you know, take myself from the negative part of losing them or the death of them to the greatness of them. Like remembering what my father said, like somebody would have want to wake up and have your problems. I'm like, who want to have my problems? A dead guy. And then I just laugh, right? And so, because my dad used to say this kind of stuff all the time, and my brother was so silly. He would drink and call me at 5 o'clock in the morning and tell me about his life, and or he'll call me at midnight and say, "Why you in the bed?" Like old people is in the bed at 12 o'clock. You could be in the bed at 12 o'clock, but not sleep. Sleep. You're not sleep. Right? You should be watching TV or something, right? Why you sleep? This is the messages that he leaves on my phone when I don't answer. So I can laugh at that kind of stuff. And so you want to be mindful of how thinking of things in a certain way can really change the trajectory of how it makes you feel. Because imagine if I took it and made myself sad, then I might just get in the bed and start crying and not have a good day. But I'm in control of that. So I'm not going to allow myself to have a bad day. I'm going to, find the happiness in it, and I'm going to keep it moving. That's what I've chosen to do. So when you are mindful of these thoughts and feelings without, trying to change them and not trying to make them a fact, that will help you to keep them positive. Other ways that, mindfulness can help you improve your mental health could be, giving yourself a better perspective of the situation, making yourself challenge this inner thought or this inner critic, and interrupting any biases or ingrained beliefs that began at childhood. Like, could that really be true? That somebody said that you're not good enough. Clearly I'm good enough. Clearly I can create the life of my dreams. I already have the evidence in my toolbox to tell me that I'm going to be fine, or I'm going to be great, or I'm going to do well. One of the things that my book writing coach, she had asked me one time, she said, tell me about a time when things were really rough and you got through it. And before I could say anything, she said, no, 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 not that time, another time. And I'm like, okay. And I go to tell her another time. And then she's like, no, 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 not that time either. Another time. And she did it like 5 times. And then finally she said, do you get it? You always come through. You always get through it. You always, so you have evidence already that some of the most hardest, devastating, gut wrenching things that has happened to you, you have survived. You have survived. Would you have rather skipped them? Yes. But you have proof now that you got this. You can handle it. you know and so the other part, to that is really, taking time to be mindful, doing meditation, this 5 to 20 minutes per day, taking your steady breaths, noticing your thoughts, any emotions that stir up, that cause, any sensation or thought process, just, hear them and let them go. And just try to really relax and let your thoughts come and go without trying to change them. Just observe them and those emotions that are happening inside of you, and just really just dismiss it, because you know who's in control of the whole situation. You are so in control of how you feel. You are in control if you let yourself get angry. You are in control if you let yourself get sad. And you are in control if you let yourself be happy and joyful. So when you think about those emotions, like, I think I'm gonna stick with the happy and joyful, even when it's difficult. And practice self-compassion. It's all about telling yourself that there's nothing wrong with feeling down or sad, or showing yourself support during difficult times, because they're gonna come. It's giving yourself understanding and space to feel whatever is going on inside. What you got going on this feedback now? Stop touching buttons.
I was sitting back. I don't know what happened.
Anywho, but giving yourself space to feel whatever's going on inside of you without any judgment. When you're okay with having negative thoughts and not always feeling happy, you're better able to bounce back and respond to unwanted thoughts calmly. Self-compassion really also gives you helps you to be more aware of your own thoughts that are not helpful and are not accurate, which improves your coping abilities. And so, some of these thoughts that come up sometimes that really stop us in our tracks, thoughts like, you ain't good at that, right? You need to not be doing that. And then you just got to debunk that and say, well, I did it last time and it came out pretty good. And I'm going to do it again. And this time it's going to be better. Just don't have the conversation out loud like I do.
Can we have no? Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Let's kind of let's see what that looks like. Let's me and you practice right now and see what that looks like. What would you say? How does that look?
What? Self-conversation?
You call me on the phone and you be like, and I'm talking to you on the phone. You would call me up and you be like, hey Kemp, how you doing? I'm like, I'm all right. So, yeah. And then go ahead. And then,
all right.
What does
and this is what I would say. You say I'm all right. And I'm like, ew, what is that? And you gonna say, what's what?
Yeah.
That sound that you made, I'm all right.
Yeah.
What is that? And who you talking to? I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna call you right back, and you answer the phone better this time. Okay? Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Kim, this is Darlaina. What's going on?
I'm good.
Nah, no. What is that? And then it may be something really happens.
You always happy though. You always all happy like that.
Because I choose. I choose to be. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I listen to Alan Watts. After I listen to Alan Watts, and I listen to Abraham Hicks. And then after I do that, I go in the mirror, and while I'm in the mirror brushing my teeth, I tell myself how amazing I am and how many lives I'm going to impact today. And that's a habit. And so because of that habit, I don't know how to wake up sad. I don't know how to wake up in a bad mood. Sometimes you might have a crazy dream or something, and you kind of feel some emotions around that, but then you just dismiss it. You thank God for life, you thank God for waking you up. And then after I do all that, then I come back to my book and I write my gratitude stuff. I write right now. I'm doing the I have this book called the 369 Manifestation. So I'm writing that every morning. And then in that same book, it has a whole section like today was I am unique. And then after I am unique, then it gives you 10 lines to write I am something. And so I wrote that I'm amazing, I am great, I am beautiful, I am, all these I ams. So by the time I do all of that work in the morning, by the time I call you, oh, I'm on cloud nine. What? I don't leave my mood or my life to chance. Because if I did, I could literally be in anything that's going on. Right now, people are fighting about the vaccine people versus the vaccinated versus the not vaccinated, and kids getting the vaccine. It's just so much stuff. And the president did that and all this. And so you can easily find yourself ingrained in everything that's happening around you, when in this moment that you're in, it don't have nothing to do with you. It don't have nothing to do with you until it do. So why are we allowing ourselves to get ingrained by what's going on in the world? Worry about what's going on in your house. Worry about what's going on in your world. How are you, making yourself better for yourself and for your family? So if the world is doing what it's doing, how are you being prepared for whatever it is you need? Are you making sure that you eating right and exercise and keeping your immunity up, so that that's not even a conversation that you got to have? So you can do that, or you can jump in that, or you can do your work and make your decision as to however you want to handle that thing, and then put that thing over there and go and live your life. So I don't leave it to chance. So I'm always that way. I can't even tell you. Probably the last time I was really, really sad was when my mother passed. And just that whole process of grieving. And I'm still kind of in it, some days. And they tell you that time heals everything. I believe that's a lie from the pit of hell. Time just makes it tolerable. Cause it never, they like, oh, it's going to get better. My dad passed in 2013, and I still wake up days like it happened yesterday. So, I just know that, what my parents will want for me. I know the kind of life that they always wanted for me, and I know that they knew me, and I relish in that, because I know they knew the life or the trajectory that I was on. They were always proud of me. I would call my mom and say, "Oh, I'm in Miami," or "Oh, I'm in so and so," and I just use all of that as fuel, because really that's what your life is. Your life is fuel. It is fuel to keep going. It is fuel to boost you into the clouds, if you use it for that. Because it's easy to lose somebody and check out. One of my friends lost her son at a school shooting. He was 15. It's probably 20 years ago now that it happened. But when it happened, she closed her eyes and did not wake back up for 6 months. And when she woke up 6 months later, she thought that the whole thing was a dream. When I say checked out, she checked out to the place that she couldn't. She wasn't even there for the funeral. She missed the whole thing.
What do this mean? What does it mean when you say this too will pass? What does that mean?
It means that the situation will be further away from your heart, and eventually it will feel all right. Eventually,
So now listen. You said it says the reason why I'm asking you that, it says when you said
time.
In the passing, there's some time. Yes. So if you can believe this, you say this too will pass.
Yes.
So is that just a certain thing that will do, or is it everything?
It's everything.
Like when I look at God, like I was reading up this morning that says, God says, count it all joy.
Yeah.
How do you get into a level of, and I'm gonna really go in there because I'm gonna really teach on this Sunday, but I was reading, and it's in James, and he says, like you just said it. You said this too will pass.
Yes.
No matter what's going on in your life, it's going. But then you'll say, but then at the end of the day, your mom died. This too will pass.
Yeah.
Can you say that?
Yeah, because what happens is not that the event is going to be different. It's the emotion. It's the sheer hurt of it is what's going to pass. Not that she died. We ain't going back to. She not waking up. But the emotions that's so gut wrenching is what is going to pass. And eventually those emotions do, they pass. And then you can get to the level of remembering the happy stuff. You can look at the pictures of your loved one and remember that day or remember that time and remember their words, remember their voice, and just kind of laugh with it, and just know that this cycle of life that we're in is just that, and there's nothing anybody can do to change it. This life ain't nobody getting out alive. Period. No one's getting out alive. So we just have to continue to put in the work, whether that is utilizing affirmations or journaling. All of those things are going to help you when it comes to that inner monologue. And when it comes to the self-sabotage and the things that we experience, we want to even create that vision board again. We coming up on this end of the year. Why wait till January 1st? Do it now. What's your intention now? In the book, Ask It and Shall Be Given You, one of the things that they talked about, remember, was scripting. Writing out how you want to see the remaining of the year go. Or if you're about to walk into something, you want to send God and the angels ahead and say, this is how I want this thing to pan out. This is how I want this end of the year to go. This is how I want to walk into 2022. 2022, there's so much spiritual prediction around this year of 2022. The wicked, transfer of wealth to the righteous, all kinds of things I've heard. And I've also heard that it's just a year that everybody's going to do well. You had all this time to sit still. Now it's time for all that stuff to come to fruition. So what do you want to see? Write it down, make it plain. And now when I write down things and make it plain, remember in the Ten Commandments, and Pharaoh kept saying, so it's written, so it shall be done.
Yes.
So I say it after everything I write. So it is written, so it shall be done. And
That's good.
I do. I write it every single day. So it is written, so it shall be done. Amen. Ashe. It's done. Done. Done, done, done.
Oh God, that's right. It's like, now you being real intentional about that. He said, like he's giving you. He says, write it down.
Yep.
And then when you just said it like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's written.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's done.
And if you can really believe in your words that way, oh my God.
It's a real whole conversation that you have with yourself, and you writing this stuff down. I wrote down when I came to Chicago. Chicago was going to be great. I was going to see the city. I was going to see my friends. I said, this is what I wrote. When I get here, they are going to see me. They're going to see me so well and want to incorporate everything I got. So when I get here, when I leave here, I'm going to leave with my pockets heavy. Okay? That's what I wrote. And when I got here, they kept saying, oh my goodness, you're so amazing. I wanted to say, I know. But I just said thank you. One lady who I sat with yesterday, she said, oh my God. She said, you are so amazing. She said, I could just sit with you all day. And I'm thinking to myself, that's great, but you can't. So you got to move on to the next person. And so I absolutely wrote down my experience before my experience. And that way, when you are writing it down, you are in expectation of whatever that thing is that you wrote down. And the respect of the people, like the people that are giving me, all of this respect and love, and what can we do for you to make you stay more comfortable, all that. These are people that I know, like, and trust. These are people that I respect because of their accomplishments. And so now here they are, like turning it around, saying, yeah, you may not have been a master networker, but we respect your work and what you do. And so we want you to be a part of what we're doing to now impact the people that follow us. Our distributors, we want to make sure that they're healthy. We want to make sure that they know how to, handle whatever it is coming up for them in business. Because, business is not easy. It's not easy. And so, if it was, everybody would be doing it, but it is rewarding. And so if you can get through some of these things, this self-sabotage, this inner monologue, and really, get to being mindful of your thoughts and taking the time out to write it down and make it plain so that it is so. So that it is so. I mean, how amazing would you feel if everything you wrote down is so? Everything that you wanted, that is. Because sometimes we write down things that, happen and it's not good. Not those things, but the things that you write down, you're setting the intention for. If all of those things came to pass, how would you feel? Great. You would feel amazing. You would feel joyful. You would feel all of that. So, how about this? I challenge you to feel good now. Feel good now before you do it, because feeling good is how you attract it. You attract everything you want and everything you need so that you can have the life of your dreams. You can't do it if you don't feel good. If you are feeling bad, sad, or unhappy, guess what happens to that? You attract more of that. And it 100% blocks everything good that's coming your way. So you don't get what you think about, you get what you feel about. So if you are feeling bad and not feeling good and out here just being depressed and sad, you are blocking everything good that you want. So I just challenge you in this moment, that the moment that you in your mind feel that you are feeling bad, that you find a way to shift yourself. Whether that's call a friend, then let's set the lifelines up. We got call a friend, watch a funny movie, watch a stand-up comedian.
Music.
And I was about to say it. Music will shift you. Playing with your kids will shift you. Playing with an animal. Find the things that shift you, because once you are shifted, then you are back in alignment with attracting what you want. As long as you are feeling bad, you have cut off 100% what you're trying to get. So, back to you, Mrs. Action.
You know what? I can't. Oh my God! Damn, dang, go. Okay. I don't know. I felt that one. Listen. That's what I told you when I was on. I was reading it. It says, I'm thinking. I said, and I keep going back. God said, count it all joy. How do you count it all joy? And then when I went into that, and there's some reference to it, because the Bible I'm reading, and it just says you got to develop these areas right there.
Yes.
But Lord have mercy, the more you develop it, the more you, yeah. And you got, see, it can't be developed if it ain't used.
Yeah.
But the more you, and that's why I keep on saying, take something really small. And Sharon, no, I'm good on this one, right? I said, watch, I guarantee the party space gonna be there. Yeah,
Yes.
Listen. Listen,
I've
right
seen
there,
it.
it's done.
I've
Like
seen
I
it.
said it like this. I said, we get ready to get this house.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. It is settled down.
Yeah.
Boom. Your words.
And it don't matter. It don't matter. The details of it don't matter. When I said I was coming to Atlanta and I was going to open this healing house and all this kind of stuff, first of all, my credit was 500 and something. I did have no money. So that part wasn't none of that was my business. None of that was my business. God said, write it down and make it plain. I'm going to make it happen. So I end up getting a private person to get me the house, and that private person end up being my friend. So listen, you so busy thinking, oh, I don't got enough money, oh, my credit not that good, oh, my this, there, where there is a will, there is a way. You just ask for it, and it's so, you just ask for it. The problem is you have not because you ask not.
And you know what, we don't get that, because see, this is the thing. When my sister called me about her home that she wanted, she said, the house got everything in it I want. It was a house that was already built.
Yes.
And she crying. I said, why is she crying? She said, I said, see, this is the level of belief you don't believe in. I told Lynn. I said, Lynn, don't worry about it. Lynn called up here. Y'all gonna see some stuff in a minute.
Yes.
Because I can't wait to tell the story.
Listen.
Because Lynn, she keep on saying, well, camp and this. I told her last year, we moving and I'm gonna have you in a different. We gonna be in Florida.
See.
In her mind, and what we normally do is the way it looks.
Yes.
You'll never understand it.
The looks.
You don't understand that. But if you believe your words have power, I guarantee you, your words have power.
My words. I have known.
When me and Jamal moved to Atlanta, the lady just told us, "Oh, you ain't getting this apartment." I was like, "Damn, this girl found an apartment just being built." I promise you, the apartment was just built. Nobody ever been in the apartment.
Yeah.
And then I called. I said, "Oh no, I don't care. What I need to do, it's done." Listen, and when you speak this way, there's some type of movement when people say never. Let me tell you something. I said never.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
When I say it, your words I'm gonna tell you like this. You knew when Mom was not playing. Mom talked to you a certain way. She tell you she gonna whoop your tail. You knew right then and there. Mom ain't playing, y'all. Y'all better stop playing. Listen, Mom is not playing. Darlaina is not playing.
Listen, the last thing I want to just add to that is sometimes when like you with your sister and she says she wanted that house, but she ended up getting a better house. So what we have to say is this or something better. So that you're not locking God in the universe into that specific house or that specific apartment. You are asking God for this or something better. So that way now, whatever it is, that's because that house that you saw, it was all right, but it was better when you got the one where nobody lived in. And then your sister, it was nice, the one that had everything in it, but it was better that she could build it from the ground up, right? So it's always this or something better. So just add that part to it, and I promise you it will always be this or something better.
I gotta go. We gotta go. All I can tell you is 10:02. Love you all. Have a take control over your life. This was an extra session, Darlaina. Again, we're gonna see y'all tomorrow. Make it a great day on purpose with a purpose for your life. God bless. God damn.
I love it. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see where we are. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you got some good words from this. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Same time, same station, but in Atlanta, not Chicago. Bye for now.